Hello everyone, I hope you stick around for this video because what I'm about to discuss is very important to me. It involves a bit more than just what went into making Life of a Wizard, which was easily one of the biggest projects I've ever undertaken, and believe it or not, making it the way I did was a mistake, but a good one, a great one even, and here's why in full detail. In 2015, Life of a Wizard was easily one of the biggest requests for the next episode of the series. As usual, I started off with listing some rough ideas down on paper. And the more I wrote on this one, however, the more I got into it, completely forgetting about if what I wrote was actually possible for me to produce and make into a video. Learning from my previous Life of A's, I created characters with no motives for what they did. So this time round, I wanted characters to have more depth and personality, and this is where I took a wrong turn in the creative process of making Life of a Wizard. Creating personality takes time, which multiplies the time it takes to make the film. What I wrote for Life of a Wizard was too much for a Life of A episode, and it started to become something it wasn't, something the series never used to be. I created the Life of A series so I could frequently upload short, cute little stories of various fictional characters that comparatively live very different lives from each other. But with every Life of A video I released, I wanted to raise the bar of what I could do again and again and again, and more story meant more scenes. But getting back to Life of a Wizard, I seriously needed to downsize it. I ended up removing things like the wizard's home and his family, Finley's friends, removing other professors from the script, of which I still made them make a cameo in the film, but creating a character for a series like this the way I did was not the right way to go about it. I also had to cut out large amounts of dialogue, which I initially planned to be voice acted. After getting a handful of people to try out for voice acting, it eventually fell through, unfortunately, for several reasons, but I did try. And I know people out there don't like reading subtitles, myself included, so large amounts of text was a double negative, which had to go. So, after sadly cutting over half the screen time, Life of a Wizard's story was ready, and at this point I estimated for it to go for 6 minutes. Boy was I wrong. This was a much more positive and exciting part of creating Life of a Wizard's world. However, I had one huge limitation: time. I had to turn my vision of this story and what was in my head into a world for everyone to see. There was a lot of scenes to be done, and how was I going to get that built whilst creating videos on a weekly basis? The key was finding a pre-made set. And thankfully I came across another YouTuber's world which suited my story almost perfectly. So I asked for his permission to use it, got it, bam, 90% of the construction work done in one night. But there were a few things that still needed to be changed on the world, the biggest one of which was the academy itself. Believe it or not, it was hollow, nothing inside of it. So that's where I had to contact one of my awesome builders who I had to tell in full detail what I wanted and needed from the scenes I'd planned, and he built it all by himself beautifully and was done in under 2 weeks. Now all that was needed before I could begin was actors, and actors need skins that suit the story. So I found some on the internet, downloaded them, re-edited them and changed them, some more than others, and once this was all done, I was ready to drop them into this fresh new readied world and bring it to life. This was the parts I had the most fun with, and the part that all the magic happened. Get it? Magic? Wizard? At the time of making this video, I currently had over 60 actors at my disposal, so grabbing actors on my set days of filming was never too difficult. Although after the story downsizing that had to be done, the town was never a scene, but it was so beautiful that I just had to show it in the film and do it justice. So I thought it would be a beautiful way to introduce us to the beginning and set the tone for the film. The next scene after shooting the opening shots of the town was the wizard walking through the dungeon on his way to evil Professor Zage. Yep, this movie was not shot in scene order. Why is that? It's that beautiful word, limitations. I'll name just one example because I don't want to blabber on. Actor availability. How am I going to shoot the next scene at the academy, which is supposed to be filled with students, when only 2 actors are available? Simple, I don't, and instead I film a scene which only involves 2 or less, or whatever. Shooting the scene at the academy with the students collectively was like over 40 takes, and only probably like 3 of them made it into the final cut. Overall, filming all scenes I had planned turned out to be very time consuming, but once it was all done, it turned out beautifully, creating a rich environment filled with activity, colour and motion, all of which I imagined this world to have when writing it. The final stretch of making these films. Reaching this part means you've passed the fun phase of filmmaking, but entering a whole new, stressful, demanding stage. Let me show you why. This may blow your mind. I scripted in Wizards doing magical effects. I've never really worked with magical effects before in my life, and I needed the visuals to look stunning. That also means color correcting every single shot to enhance the picture and make it visually engaging to look at. To summarize all that, a lot of editing. And many shots were filmed with elements that weren't available to me without the magic of green screen, which I absolutely abused in the making of this short film. And playing around with it was a ton of fun and was something I really enjoyed in post-production, although editing the finale took a whole day. The whole movie took about a week to edit and polish, and that's not counting the 8 times I had to re-render it because another spell effect glitched, and re-rendering it took 2.5 hours. A lot of time. Not only did I have to get it right, but it has to please the thousands upon thousands of people that watch it and critique it, and that runs through my head whilst I'm having a 12-hour day at the computer, tired, with a banging headache, trying my all to get this to look good for your viewing pleasure and release it as soon as possible. Look, editing can be great fun, but I'll be completely honest, editing Life of a Wizard was not fun at all. Who knew sitting at a computer could be so physically painful and exhausting? I'm not trying to pull a sympathy card here, I'm just telling it how it is and the nature of what I do and go through just so I can put up this one video. But am I complaining? Absolutely not. I love it, and that's why I do it in the first place. I could take an hour out of my day to record myself playing a game and spend less than 2 hours editing it. And I won't speak on the behalf of anyone else, but I find editing Let's Plays ridiculously easy and quick to release and upload. So why am I crazy enough to take a week to make every video and months to create short films? Passion. Choosing the easiest option for me just isn't really me. At the end of the day, all I want to do is just look back on what I've done in life, and I want myself to be proud and say, yeah, I did that. And choosing to put myself through the stress and headaches and fatigue just to make Life of a Wizard the way I did was a mistake. It's not healthy what I did, especially on a daily basis, but it was a good mistake because I realized through my limitations I'm proud of what Life of a Wizard turned out to be, and I hope you are too. As always, thank you for watching. My name is Mr. Cubey, and until the next video, goodbye.